In an instant, the sailor found himself among the naked women of a savage tribe. But what he received as a gift shocked those around him. Greetings! Today, we are going to talk about one unique case that happened to a Russian sailor on an island. Is it true that the man was surrounded by women of a wild tribe in the costume of Eve? What gift and why did the sailor get on the island for sleeping with one girl? Is it true that he was able to help a woman get pregnant who was suffering from an incurable disease? Be sure to watch the video to the very end. It will be very interesting. Boundless travel to many corners of the earth. First, we just have to explain to you what kind of person we are talking about. He is Vasily, a long-distance sailor. Over the years of his life, he has traveled a lot of places. Traveled a man mainly on a dry cargo ship in various places of the vast planet. But after Vasily was brought to Indonesia, his life did not become the same, but radically changed. So, the man arrived on the island of Borneo, had to stop temporarily and at the same time to walk around the picturesque places. Basil accidentally got to the market, where fruits and other spices were traded. And then he ran into a girl who had a full basket of purchased products. Vasily did not ignore this case and therefore decided to help. It is important to note that the girl of swarthy appearance spoke Russian perfectly. Such a skill she acquired after completing her studies abroad. The girl introduced herself by the name Suok. Finally, Vasily took all the essentials and followed the stranger. He could not guess what the girl was up to and what her main secret was. Vasily also did not expect that their path would not be as easy as it seemed at first glance. The couple made their way further and further through the thickets and jungle. That's when the man suspected that something was wrong. The probability of not getting lost and getting back safely decreased to a minimum. That's when Vasily made a remark to Suok and suggested that she had simply lured him away from civilization. But the girl only asked if the sailor was in a hurry. Well, the latter had to put up with it and hoped that soon he would get out of such confinement. The last route to their destination lay across the water. This time, the couple sat down on a pre-prepared boat. Throughout the journey, the man and the girl talked, but the anxiety in the dialogue did not leave Vasily. In the boat, Suok treated the sailor with a drink, since he was very thirsty. As soon as they began to sail, Vasily felt something wrong. He immediately caught up with drowsiness, and then the traveler quickly fell asleep. Soon, the boat arrived at the other end of the island. And here, a real surprise awaited the man, the only man in the tribe. What happened this time? You'll be surprised, but when Vasily woke up, he saw a wild tribe of women in Eve costumes. And there were dozens of them, and they all seemed to be waiting for some kind of miracle. The sailor obviously did not expect such an outcome. And when he began to find out what was going on here, then Suok revealed her main secret. It turns out that there were no men in the tribe. That's why the women needed a male representative, after which it was possible to hope for the continuation of their species. In other words, everyone wanted to leave behind an heir. Oh, how joyfully welcomed the new guest tribe of the island of Borneo. Basil was immediately treated with an overseas dish, and then everyone gathered in a circle and danced. Suok explained that it was useless for the sailor to escape from the tribe. First, he had not remembered all the way to civilization, as he had literally slept part of the way. Secondly, there were crocodiles on the island, especially in the nearby water bodies. Vasily's thought dawned on him that he was in a real captivity. But Suok reassured the sailor that she would definitely let him go home. But only on one condition. Soon, a joyous event took place in the female tribe. The man did have sexual intercourse with the girl who had lured him to the place. Eventually, as you can probably guess, Suok became pregnant. This is what she'd been waiting for years. The women on the island were overjoyed. They praised the traveler so reverently that there was no limit to the latter's surprise. Then Suok fulfilled her promise. But this time, it was as if she endowed Vasily with a gift, which he will definitely be useful in the future. The girl only explained that he could heal people who suffer from even the most incurable diseases. This instruction Vasily remembered for the rest of his life. Return to civilization. We draw your attention to the fact that Vasily returned the same way, accompanied by Suok and on a boat. It was as if the man was repeating all the same things that had happened a few days ago. Eventually, he fell asleep, and when he woke up, he realized the following. He is now in civilization in a hospital bed. A quite legitimate question arises. Were they looking for Vasily in the end, or not? The man was reported missing after his disappearance. And this fact was recorded by the captain of the ship, on board of which Vasily sailed the seas and oceans. It goes without saying that they were looking for him. But how can you find a man so quickly in the jungle where there is no civilization? After recovery, the man was deported and sent to his homeland. From now on, it was necessary to put a cross on his professional activity. Vasily perfectly understood that he needed money, because the main source of income was gone. And then he remembered a key detail after his failed journey, a new image and helping those around him. It is, of course, about the gift of healing others from various diseases and illnesses. And then the circumstances as if helped Vasily to begin to engage in a new occupation. After all, when the former sailor returned to Russia, he saw before him a sad picture. He had almost no relatives left and the house burned down. Vasily was worried about this. But he did not forget that life goes on, and therefore it is necessary to make new plans and move exclusively forward. So the man settled in a new place. Vasily remembered that there was a hut in the forest which once belonged to one of the foresters. The structure was checked. Vasily put the house in order and began to get used to the new living conditions. Soon, many people learned about the healer, and the result in monetary terms exceeded all expectations. Help to a woman who did not go unnoticed. As evidence of the merits of Basil, it is enough to give an example of a woman of 60 years. Her name is Klavdia Pavlovna. Somehow, she was advised to turn to the forest healer. There were good reasons for this. The woman suffered from an incurable kidney disease. Doctors even threatened to remove one of them. And Klavdia Pavlovna also dreamed of an heir. She still could not have a child with her husband. Finally, the woman arrived at the same place and then walked to Vasily's hut. Klavdia Pavlovna explained the whole point from start to finish. The man held a session, which did not last long. After that, the patient seemed to feel lightness and a burst of great energy. The woman thanked Vasily and left. And soon, two miracles happened. Klavdia Pavlovna was completely cured of the disease and became pregnant with her husband. As you can see, the benefits are really there. After that, the woman once again visited Vasily. He made it clear that he is always happy to help. The main thing is to make an appointment with him in advance, because the healer had a whole line of people lined up to see him. Conclusion. Thus, although Vasily left his professional activity as a sailor in the past, but he became useful to society. And all because once he was carried away from civilization. And there, just he was endowed with a gift that changed his life exclusively for the better.